As exit looms, Browns veteran sends strong message to Shedeur Sanders, Joe Flacco, and QB room. Ahead of the 2023 season, David Njoku sat down with ESPN and said, "I've recently been taking more and more of a leadership role, bringing your teammates along." And let's be real, it didn't sound like a soundbite. It sounded earned. 7 seasons deep in Cleveland, Njoku had grown past the drops and the drama. He wasn't just flashing on Sundays anymore. He was the guy holding the room together, especially as the Browns shuffled through quarterbacks like it was tradition. That leadership became real down the stretch in 2023 when Joe Flacco landed mid-season and suddenly, Cleveland caught fire. Njoku was the security blanket, recording a career-high 882 yards and 6 TDs in his 7th season. Safe to say that the guy didn't just adjust into the leadership role, he elevated everyone else. But then came the 2024 season, his 8th with the Browns. The guy was forced to miss the final 6 games of the 2024 season due to an injury and tallied just a bit over 500 yards and 5 TDs. And all of a sudden, the whispers around the Browns parting ways with their veteran tight end came to light. For starters, the 9th-year TE is entering the final season of his 4-year $56.75 million contract extension that he signed back in 2022, and given that the guy's coming from an injury, his $11.4 million cap hit is tough to swallow for the Browns. The plot thickens from here. The guy recorded a career-low 7.9 yards per reception in the 2024 season. And if we include his PFF grades, 65.3/31 SD when it comes to receiving and 64.0/35 TH in overall offense, among the league's other TEs, no wonder it worked like gas on fire. Plus, the Browns have already picked the former Bowling Green TE Harold Fannin Jr. with the 67th overall pick. And get this, the guy's entering the rookie season after leading the nation in receptions, 117, and receiving yards, 1,555, in his final season at Bowling Green. That means the Browns might be looking to develop the guy as David Njoku's successor. And to spice things up, releasing or trading Njoku would save $4.5 million in cap space, as per Spotrac. So, the big question, are they going to part ways with him? Well, it sounds a bit odd and unlikely, given that the guy has been with the Browns ever since Cleveland drafted him back in the 2017 NFL Draft with the 29th overall pick. At the same time, there might be a possibility for the same. But amidst the exit buzz, the veteran TE is gearing up to catch passes from the Browns' crowded quarterback unit. David Njoku is expected to return with a bang after last season's injury. Amidst the outside noise buzzing that the Browns might part ways with David Njoku, CBS Sports' Tyler Sullivan claimed that the veteran TE is next in line for a contract extension. Turns out Njoku's future in Cleveland is still uncertain after the 2025 season. But looks like the guy's gearing up for his comeback following an injury in the 2024 season. Or should we say that the fans are rooting for his return like never before? Recently, one of Njoku's fans took to their social media handle and shared a post, all while praising his performance, physique, and hyping up his return for the 2025 season. Let's FNG go. If there's one name that should be keeping AFC North defensive coordinators up at night, it's David Njoku. The shared X post read. Entering the 2025 season, the 6 feet 4 inches, 250-pound Browns tight end isn't just some freak athlete anymore. He's a FING wrecking ball, with muscles carved out like a comic book superhero and a fire in his eyes that says, "Get the F***K out of my way." Njoku is ready to take over and raise hell this season, with a quarterback room that's hotter than ever. Add in names like Shedeur Sanders and Joe Flacco slinging him passes. Njoku's role is about to explode. Right after that went down, Njoku took a moment, hopped up on his official X handle, reshared that post, and pinned a message. "Haha, just throw it to me, baby," he wrote. At this point, the Browns' quarterback room is arguably the most talked about thing. We're talking about the veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and the rookies like Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel. With the QB1 spot still uncertain, these guys are competing to make their way through as the Browns' starting quarterback. For the time being, Flacco is expected to start in 2025 with Pickett serving as his backup. But that doesn't mean Shedeur and Gabriel won't be there to make their presence felt. In fact, The guys are surely improving their QB depth chart ahead of their rookie seasons. No wonder David Njoku is excited to catch passes from Cleveland's crowded QB unit. We're unlocking something different this year, Coach Kevin Stefanski said about Njoku. You'll see Njoku everywhere. Wide, in the slot, lined up like a fullback if we want. He's a nightmare, and we're about to let him off the leash. Long story short, while a few folks might be buzzing about David Njoku's uncertain future with the Browns, no doubt. But the head coach is all in on utilizing the veteran TE's experience in his 9th season in Cleveland. After all, they've got a top-tier QB unit. Kevin Stefanski's job at risk after Shedeur Sanders' draft as PFF points to major flaw in Jimmy Haslam's Browns. Back in November 2024, as Cleveland limped through a season riddled with quarterback chaos and offensive dysfunction, Kevin Stefanski's job security became a frequent target of speculation. Yet, NFL insiders pushed back hard. Kevin Stefanski, to my knowledge, is not going anywhere, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport said firmly on the insiders, calling any suggestion of a coaching change beyond stunning. ESPN's Adam Schefter echoed the same on Get Up, adding, "There are a lot of people making noise, and I don't quite understand it." At the time, both were right. Stefanski, a 2-time Coach of the Year, had earned the benefit of the doubt. But fast forward 7 months, the tone has changed, and not just on Twitter. The Browns' offseason whispers are no longer about continuity. Now they're about contingency. Pro Football Focus Bradley Locker didn't mince words. Cleveland, which holds 2 2026 first-round picks, will likely reset under center next offseason, and the same transition very well may include a new leader. It's a stark contrast to last year's vote of confidence, and Stefanski's margin for error in 2025 is razor-thin. Why the shift? Look no further than the numbers. Cleveland's offense finished dead last in EPA per play in 2024. They ranked 31st in success rate, and their once-elite defense slid all the way to 15th in EPA and 29th in PFF coverage grade. Locker called Stefanski an interesting case study, citing his offensive pedigree and early success. But when you're overseeing a team that looks statistically unprepared to compete, goodwill evaporates quickly. Now, even Kevin Stefanski seems to understand what's at stake. He's taken back control of the offense in 2025, ditching the idea of outsourcing the fix. Tommy Rees was elevated internally to offensive coordinator. Continuity over shakeup. But it's Stefanski's fingerprints all over this offense again. It's a bold play, because if the system crashes, there's no one left to blame but the architect himself, and he won't get much runway. The Browns face a brutal 4-game stretch to open the season, stacked against Super Bowl contenders. If those early games spiral, Stefanski risks losing more than just locker room morale. He could lose the locker room entirely. Local radio's Ken Carman show was correct. It's not just about wins, it's about quarterback play. If one of the young signal callers flashes real potential, that might buy him time. If not, no one's expecting a 3rd Coach of the Year plaque to save him. Stefanski's record in Cleveland, 40-44 with 2 playoff trips, is better than most who came before him. But with ownership holding 2 valuable 2026 picks and a roster in flux, this season could mark the end of the Stefanski era. No more not going anywhere. Now he's exactly where it hurts most, on the clock. But there's still belief in Kevin Stefanski's system while most of the NFL world is watching Cleveland's quarterback shuffle like it's the final round of The Bachelor. Kevin Stefanski is playing it cool. Real cool. No hints, no drama, no depth chart surprises, just a calm confidence in what he's got brewing. Those guys are doing great, Stefanski said about rookies Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. Doesn't matter if one's a 144 overall and the other's 94. Kevin is watching them soak it all in like rookies should, seated in a room with Joe Flacco, Deshaun Watson, and Kenny Pickett. But that's the thing. Stefanski knows what he's got, even if the rest of us are still squinting. There's Flacco, who's basically become a walking resume at this point. Pickett, with the won a Super Bowl line that still gets double-checked. And then there's Watson, whose highs feel like a distant YouTube reel. And still Stefanski's tone? Not rattled. Why, you ask? Because this isn't his first messy quarterback competition. The guy has coached through more QB changes than most fans change fantasy lineups. Even so, the leash isn't long. Leroy Horde, Brown's legend and resident truth teller, said it best. Whatever you think about Kevin Stefanski, look at his production based on what he's had to work with. Hard to argue. From Nick Chubb's injury to losing Bill Callahan, arguably one of the best O-line coaches in football, Cleveland's 2024 collapse wasn't entirely on Stefanski. But fair or not, he's still carrying that record. You do have to ask, though, how much longer does Stefanski get? Sixth year. No playoff buzz. And an owner in Jimmy Haslam who doesn't exactly hand out extensions for fun. This season, Horde isn't giving up on him. And honestly, neither is Stefanski. He's not just coaching these quarterbacks, he's betting on them. Because if this offense doesn't click, there won't be another reboot waiting. Only questions. And a front office already eyeing 2026 as if it holds all the answers.